Very few things keep me up at night. Mostly cars, hunting, family, and recently it's been batteries. And that sounds a little weird when you think about batteries, but with all the new stuff that's coming out between tabless cells and larger amp hour batteries, we balance the power issue compared to the need. And my recent late night pondering has come with the Makita 8Ah XGT battery. This is a large battery. As you can see, we have the 4Ah tabless, which in the US is the newest, standard 4Ah, 5Ah, and then the 8. It's large. So if I'm using things like the fan behind me, long slow burn, 8Ah battery. If I'm using a vacuum, long slow burn, 2 8Ah batteries in there, I get the runtime. But if I'm using a circular saw, do I get any benefit of the 8Ah battery other than runtime? And might I actually be shooting myself in the foot, carrying more weight and actually getting less power? That happens in other brands, and I just haven't done the work to figure out if this 8Ah battery is going to be worth it for high draw applications. No, it works in long slow burns, but in high draws like the miter saw, like a table saw, like something that you're really going to push, is it going to be worth it? So today we're going to go through and figure out if you find this 8Ah battery on sale and you're using it for something as a high power draw system, is it going to be worth the money you're going to put into it? We're going to do that with a miter saw. We're going to do that pushing that miter saw much more. We did a video on the 4 through the 5 with the tabless, just kind of getting the miter saw going and seeing what would happen. And in that video, we proved that the 4Ah tabless will keep up with the 5Ah, no issue. So that gives you some ideas of what you would buy if you found one on sale. If the 5Ah are really more inexpensive than the 4s, what are you getting? What's the benefit of spending more on a tabless? Lots of things to think about there, but we're going to push this miter saw today. There's going to be a vacuum in the background. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. Watch the volt meter. Watch it drop, watch it recover. We're going to do 3 cuts, and the recovery is just as important as how much it drops. All right, we're all wired up. We're going to start out with the standard 4Ah battery. We are at 40.85 volts. Let's just take some small slices off this. This is about the max depth we can go with 2x lumber. Seen down to 32 there. $31 on that one. And our vacuum didn't click on. Big difference on that, huh? Here's the 4Ah tabless cell. So let's give this a roll and see how we do as far as the voltage that it drops down to. Seen 33 there, but the big difference was when the saw actually starts up. It doesn't drop as far. Comes back pretty quick. Okay, the 5Ah is loaded up and we are at 41.04 at this point in time. Let's give it a go. With the 5 amp hour, we've seen high 33s, maybe low 34s. The 8 amp hour is loaded. I'm hoping to see 35s as the low. That would tell me that this is a great battery for here. I'm not losing any power, although we are slicing through this like nothing. We're at 40.96. Let's see how it goes. .36 was the low there. That's pretty nice to see. .34 really pushing it. .35, that's what we wanted. That was a 34 pushing it, and I'm obviously making more cuts. All day long, that's what I wanted to see. 35 on that, and our recovery is very quick. We are back up to 40.54 and climbing. This is it. So there it is, and that says everything that I need to know. The voltage stayed much higher with the 8 amp hour battery than the 5 or the 4 tablets, and I think that's important. So my point is, if I want to carry around the 8 amp hour battery on this smaller circular saw, I will most likely carry a higher voltage, more torque, more RPM, and be able to have more power. So that gives me that warm and fuzzy feeling of, hey, I'm going to get a benefit out of carrying this much larger battery. Although this battery fits in this tool quite well, it doesn't stick out a lot, and I like that. Turns on and this thing just rips. So I would do that if I needed to and I needed the power. And I think that's where this came in. Is it worth the larger brick? Not only is it the cost, it's the weight, it's the size, but in the case of the miter saw, more power. I'd use it in that all day, slap it in there, I'm not losing a thing. If I don't have this battery for that saw, it's no issue. I can drop down, and I'm not seeing a ton of voltage sag in the 5 or the 4 tablets. I would not run the old 4 amp hour in that saw long term, because as that battery gets weaker, you see more of the voltage drop and lose more power. One of the great tests that we should do on this over time is just get these batteries to 50% and then start to push this voltage sag. I think that would be a huge indicator of what battery to use, but we're showing you most of what you can see, because that is only going to get worse and worse as the battery discharges. And then you're in that situation of losing power, getting frustrated. And if you have a 12-inch miter saw and you're using it for something a little more demanding, 8 amp hour battery is where you're going to go. I'll be honest, I didn't think that was going to come out that way. It really seemed like I was going to not get the benefit from it, but I was going to get the runtime. We see that in a lot of the other batteries out there, where the smaller 6s or 9s will outperform the 12s. And in this case, the 8 just totally took the rest to the cleaners, and I think that's awesome. Let me know your comments. Give us a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.